Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm creating a full framed shaker card. This is easy to accomplish with a few steps. I'm starting with a panel of thick Whisper White cardstock that is the same size as my card base. With one of the largest in the package of Layering Squares framelits dies, I first cut away an area at the top of the card and then slide the die down and cut again in the Big Shot die cut machine, and it cuts away the remaining portion of the paper. So this is just as simple as it is to create a partial die cut frame. I'll be making this into a shaker card, so I'll need a piece of window sheet acetate that is 1/4 of an inch smaller than the frame. And for my platform, I'll use foam adhesive strips. They're very sturdy and they help to keep the card stable. As a design choice, I thought it would be interesting when I first saw the hippo paper to create the look of a waterfront scene in front of the hippos. I'm using a piece of delightfully detailed laser cut paper and a few of my stamp pads with a sponge to add some color onto one of the sides of the paper. One side is white and one side is off-white. You could call it vanilla. So I'm using the vanilla side just to make sure there are no harsh white lines that show through. I'm using blues and greens to create a little bit of I guess it's an aqua color. I'm thinking seaweed or some kind of lake grass that the hippo would feed on. So it's just a very simple process of adding the color. I'll add this piece of the designer paper from Animal Expedition directly to the card base. The laser cut piece is not necessary whenever you're creating a full frame shaker card, but it's just a design option. And I'm layering this directly on the back side of the frame. Now I'll add more adhesive on top of those edges so that I can adhere the window sheet. The window sheet is the important part, and it is going to trap that designer paper, the laser cut paper, in between the frame and itself. As long as there's a good contact between the window sheet and the frame, that's the important part. The foam adhesive strips are really fun to make a shaker card. They are just the right height, and as long as I make sure that the corners are really secure, that there's nothing that can escape, then they work perfectly to keep all the shaker bits inside. It's a very, very quick process with these nice foam adhesive sheets. On the inside of the shaker, the bits that I'll be using are going to be some iridescent sequins, and I'll be using a little bit of glitter, and I like to use the Dazzling Diamond Stampin' Glitter. I'll also be using some of those wonderful little seed beads from Tranquil Textures sprinkles. And in order to deactivate the natural static that's in the plastic of the window sheet, I've rubbed my embossing buddy over it just a bit, and what it'll do is it'll stop those bits from clinging directly to the window sheet so much. Not such a hard process after all, is it? You can use this process to create either a full shaker, or you can make just a shaker area. There's lots of ways to feature it. Once the backing of the tape is removed, I'm going to square up the front with the card base because it's a full size, And that's as easy as it is. The sentiment is created from a stamp set called Detailed with Love, and I am using the trio punch to kind of check out what it looks like to have a rounded sentiment. It's not something that I've done yet since I've gotten the punch, so I wanted to try it out. And I do love the sentiments from Detailed with Love. They're just beautiful. There was another interesting little stamp that I have not used yet. I thought I would check it out in that Detailed with Love set, but I'm not really excited on how it looks, so I decided to recover that area. Instead of tossing it in the trash bin, I'm working with what I've done, and I'm just trimming away some of the area outside of the stamped lines in order to kind of keep things looking a little bit more cohesive. There was too much white space on the sentiment. To go around and add some little details on the front of the card, I'm using some of the new wonderful adhesive-backed sequins. No glue is necessary, so that means my hands do not have to touch the liquid glue, and that's perfect. The inside of the card is another sentiment, very easy. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. For more information, you can visit my blog at jennystampsup.com. While there, you can click on Shop Now and earn a free 12-pack tutorial that changes every month. It's a PDF that's filled with a baker's dozen tutorials that are not just your standard cards. There's a lot of really, I guess we would say, fancied up cards and some fancy folds as well. I hope that you enjoy it. I'm so happy to already have been shared it with so many of you. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.